We have some breaking news out of the Inglewood neighborhood where a 38-year-old woman and 44-year-old man are dead after a shooting right near 66th and Normal.
This happened around 2:30 this morning. Police say the man and woman were both pronounced dead at the scene.
October 3rd, 2025, 2:30 in the morning. Gunshots rip through the quiet streets of Inglewood, Chicago. Police race to a home on South Normal Avenue. Inside, they find two people, both shot in the head, a man and a woman, both dead. Within hours, the story spreads like wildfire across social media. Everyone thinks they know what happened. She went through his phone, found out he was cheating, found out he gave her HIV. She lost it and shot him, then herself. The internet explodes with judgment. Comments flood in. News sites run with the story. Dewanda Dagen becomes the villain in her own tragedy. But here's the truth. That story is completely wrong. Dewanda's brother Daniel goes live on Facebook with proof in his hands. The medical examiner's report, and what it reveals will flip everything you thought you knew upside down.
My sister was a victim. 100% victim. I'm holding victim paperwork. Victim. But that shit y'all put out there, oh, she looked in his phone and she snapped and he went out the coward way. My sister was too raw. Why would she kill herself to make the envious people of her happy?
So who really pulled the trigger that night? And why did the world get it so wrong? Stay with me, because the truth is far more heartbreaking than the lies. Welcome to Crazy Dark Files. Right now, there are thousands of women like Dewanda living with partners who cheat, often without knowing how real the danger is. If you want to help raise awareness, please like this video, share it, and subscribe. Your action today could help protect someone who might be in danger. This case takes place in Inglewood, a neighborhood on the south side of Chicago. It's an area that's seen more than its fair share of violence over the years. Families here know loss. They know grief. And on October 3rd, 2025, 2 more lives were added to that painful list. Dewanda Dagen was 38 years old, a mother, a grandmother, a sister, a daughter. She had family who loved her, plans for the future, and people who counted on her. Noon Thurmond was 44. He'd been with Dewanda for over 5 years. To the outside world, they were a couple building a life together. But behind closed doors, things weren't what they seemed. Rumors started swirling almost immediately after their deaths. People said Dewanda went through Noon's phone and discovered he was cheating. They said she found out he had HIV and that he'd given it to her. The story spread fast. Dewanda snapped, shot Noon, then turned the gun on herself. It was a story that made sense to people. Betrayal, rage, revenge. But it was also a lie. The truth didn't come out right away. It took Dewanda's brother, Daniel, going live on Facebook with official documents to set the record straight. And what those documents revealed shocked everyone who had already made up their minds. Before we get into what really happened that night, I want to ask you something. Have you ever heard a story that turned out to be completely wrong? Drop a comment below, let's talk about it. Dewanda Dagen wasn't just a headline. She wasn't just a victim in a police report. She was a real person with a real life. She was a mother to her son, a grandmother to her grandbaby, a sister to her brother Daniel, who loved her deeply, a daughter to a mother who now has to bury her child. The people who knew Dewanda described her as someone who showed up for her family. She was the kind of person who made plans and kept them. She cared about the people in her life. Just days before her death, Dewanda had made plans with a friend. They were supposed to meet up on Sunday for lunch and shopping. It was something she was looking forward to. Something normal, something happy. That day never came. After Dewanda's death, her friend posted a heartbreaking message online. She wrote, "We had a lunch and shopping date scheduled for Sunday, and so many other things to do. I'm lost and broken." She also said something important. She said the truth would come out, that no one should play with Dewanda's name, that the facts would speak for themselves. Daniel, Dewanda's brother, felt the same way. He watched as people on social media tore his sister apart. He watched as strangers called her a murderer. He watched as lies spread faster than the truth. And he couldn't stay silent. Daniel went live on Facebook to defend his sister. He held up the official report from the Cook County Medical Examiner. He wanted the world to know that Dewanda didn't do what people said she did. She wasn't the villain, she was the victim. Dewanda had a family who loved her. She had plans, she had a future. And all of that was stolen from her on October 3rd, 2025. Noon Thurmond, sometimes called Noonie Cat, was 44 years old. He'd been with Dewanda for more than 5 years. But beyond that, there isn't much public information about him. No detailed background, no interviews from family, no social media tributes painting a picture of who he was. What we do know is that he and Dewanda were together for a long time. 5 years is not a short relationship. That's years of shared memories, holidays, everyday life. To the people around them, they were a couple. But according to reports that came out after their deaths, there may have been things Dewanda didn't know. A post that went around social media after the tragedy described a painful situation. It said, "Imagine being in a relationship with a man for 5+ years. You have given this man everything he wanted, everything he needed. You thought y'all were happy, only to go through his phone and find your man had an outside life that you didn't know about. And come to find out he has full-blown HIV and you have it too." This post was shared widely. People believed it explained what happened that night. But here's the thing. These claims about the affair and the HIV were never officially confirmed. Police didn't release those details. The medical examiner didn't confirm them. They remain rumors. Still, they give us a window into the kind of emotional pain that might have been present in that home. Whether true or not, the idea of betrayal, secrets, and a life-changing diagnosis would be enough to break anyone. Noon Thurmond's story is incomplete. We don't know his side. We don't know what he was thinking or feeling. What we do know is that on October 3rd, 2025, he made a choice that ended 2 lives. 5 years. That's how long Dewanda and Noon were together. 5 years of building a life. 5 years of trust. 5 years of believing you know the person sleeping next to you. But what happens when that trust is broken? After their deaths, a social media post started making the rounds. It wasn't confirmed to be about Dewanda and Noon specifically, but people connected it to their story. Imagine the shock, the betrayal, the fear. Not just emotional pain, but a diagnosis that changes your entire future, your health, your life expectancy, everything. Again, these details were never officially confirmed by police or medical reports, but they were widely believed. And whether true or not, they paint a picture of the kind of devastation that could push someone to a breaking point. In relationships like this, there are often warning signs. Maybe there were arguments that got too heated. Maybe there was controlling behavior. Maybe Dewanda felt isolated from friends or family. Maybe she kept secrets to protect Noon, or to protect herself from judgment. We don't know for sure, but we do know that abusive relationships often involve secrecy. The person being hurt feels trapped, they feel ashamed, they don't want people to know what's really going on behind closed doors. And sometimes by the time the truth comes out, it's too late. If the rumors are true, Dewanda may have discovered Noon's affair and his health status shortly before that night. The emotional weight of that discovery would have been crushing. Anger, heartbreak, fear, betrayal. But here's the key question. How did she react? The internet decided she reacted with violence, that she grabbed a gun and shot Noon, then herself. But that's not what happened. Imagine giving someone everything for 5 years, only to discover they've been living a double life. How would you react? Let us know in the comments. Now let's talk about the night everything fell apart. October 3rd, 2025. Friday morning, 2:30 a.m. Most of Englewood is asleep. The streets are quiet. Then, gunshots. Someone calls 911. Police are dispatched to the 6600 block of South Normal Avenue. Officers arrive within minutes, not knowing what they're about to walk into. They enter the home. Inside, they find two people, a man and a woman, both unresponsive, both with gunshot wounds to the head. Dewanda Dagen, 38 years old. Noon Thurmond, 44 years old. Both are pronounced dead at the scene. A gun is recovered nearby. The officers secure the area. They call for detectives. Area 1 investigators take over the case. The home becomes a crime scene. But at this point, no one knows exactly what happened. Was it a murder-suicide? If so, who shot who? Was there a struggle? Were there witnesses? Family members arrive at the scene. They're devastated, confused, angry, heartbroken. Reporters show up. They try to get answers. They approach the family asking questions, but the family refuses to speak. They don't want to talk on camera. They don't want to give statements. They're in shock. They're grieving. And in that silence, the rumors begin. Some reports suggest that children may have been in the home at the time of the shooting. If true, that means they may have heard the gunshots. They may have seen the aftermath. The trauma of that night would stay with them forever, but this detail was never officially confirmed by police. What we do know is that the scene was chaotic. Family members were crying. Neighbors were standing outside trying to understand what just happened. Police were working to piece together the timeline, and then the story started to spread. By the time the sun came up, social media was already buzzing. People were sharing posts, making assumptions, filling in the blanks with their own versions of the truth. The narrative that took hold was this. Dewanda found out Noon was cheating. She found out he gave her HIV. She snapped. She shot him. Then she shot herself. It made sense to people. It fit the pattern of crimes of passion. Betrayal leading to violence. News outlets picked up the story. Headlines ran with it. The internet ran with it. Dewanda Dagen became the villain in her own death. But the truth was still locked inside that crime scene, inside the medical examiner's office, inside the official reports that hadn't been released yet. And Dewanda's family knew it. If you're finding this case as heartbreaking as I am, please hit that like button. It helps us bring more attention to stories like Dewanda's that deserve to be told truthfully. Because what happened next would change everything. And here's the thing. This happens all the time, especially to women. When a woman is involved in a violent crime, people are quick to blame her, even when she's the victim. Dewanda's family knew the truth. They knew what really happened, but no one was listening to them. So her brother, Daniel, decided to do something about it. He went live on Facebook, and he brought receipts. Daniel had had enough. His sister was dead. His family was grieving, and the entire internet was calling Dewanda a murderer. So he went live on Facebook. He didn't just talk, he brought proof. He held up the official report from the Cook County Medical Examiner's office, and he set the record straight. Daniel said rumors was she went through his phone and shot and killed him, which was not true. He shot and killed Dewanda, then turned the weapon on himself, and she was the victim. Let that sink in. Dewanda didn't kill Noon. Noon killed Dewanda, then he killed himself. The medical examiner's report confirmed it. Dewanda Dagen was the victim of a murder-suicide, not the perpetrator. Daniel's voice was filled with pain. You could hear the frustration, the anger, the heartbreak. He wasn't just defending his sister's name. He was fighting for her memory. He said the truth would come out, that facts are facts, that no one should play with Dewanda's name.
I can't even cry no more. I'm happy. I'm so motherfucking happy. Y'all know where I'm gonna be at. Pull up, we at Athens. You know what, matter of fact, you know what? We gonna cook. We gonna be at my sister's house. See what I'm saying? Like
Her house.
her house.
Her house.
With her name on it and everything she on, all that shit that they was saying. I hear crickets. I'm gonna miss my baby so much. But so much weight lifted off me right now. His brother became her best friend. That boy broke me down. I ain't mad no more. I got victim, 100% victim.
He reminded people that Dewanda had plans. She had a lunch and shopping date scheduled for Sunday with a friend. She had things to look forward to. She had a life, and Noon took that away from her. Daniel's message was clear. Stop spreading lies. Stop blaming the victim. Wait for the facts before you destroy someone's reputation. But the damage had already been done. Dewanda's name had been dragged through the mud. Her family had to endure not just her death, but the public humiliation that followed. This is why waiting for official reports matters. This is why jumping to conclusions is dangerous. Dewanda's friend, the one she was supposed to meet for lunch, posted her own message. She said she was lost and broken. She said Dewanda didn't deserve what happened to her. She said the truth would come out, and it did. Thanks to Daniel, the world finally knew the real story. Dewanda Dagen was not a murderer. She was a victim, a mother, a grandmother, a sister, a friend, and she deserved better. What state or country are you watching from? Let's show Dewanda's family that people around the world care about the truth. Drop your location in the comment. Dewanda's death left a hole in her family that will never be filled. Her son lost his mother. Her grandbaby will grow up without her. Her mother has to bury her daughter. Her siblings, including Daniel, have to live with this pain every single day. And it's not just the loss. It's everything that came after. The lies, the accusations, the public judgment. They had to grieve while defending Dewanda's name. The Englewood community felt the weight of this tragedy too. Another life lost to violence, another family torn apart. People who knew Dewanda posted tributes online. They shared memories. They talked about the person she really was. They mourned her. Her friend, the one she was supposed to meet for lunch, wrote about how lost and broken she felt. She said Dewanda didn't deserve what happened to her. And she was right. Meanwhile, Area 1 detectives continued their work. The case remained open as they gathered all the details. They interviewed witnesses. They reviewed the scene. They built the official timeline. But for the family, no investigation could bring Dewanda back. Englewood has seen too much of this. Too many families grieving. Too many lives cut short. Domestic violence is a problem that affects communities everywhere. But neighborhoods like Englewood feel it deeply. There's a need for more support, more resources, more places where people can go when they're in danger, more conversations about healthy relationships, more ways to help before it's too late. Dewanda's death is a reminder that violence doesn't just take one life. It destroys families, it hurts communities, it leaves scars that never fully heal. Her family is still grieving, her community is still hurting. And her story is still being told, this time with the truth. Murder-suicide cases like this one are more common than you might think. In the United States, there are hundreds of these cases every year, and the majority of them involve intimate partners, people in relationships, just like Dewanda and Noon. Here's what research shows. In most murder-suicide cases involving couples, the man is the one who kills. Over 90% of the time, it's the male partner who commits the violence. Why does this happen? It often comes down to control. When someone feels like they're losing control of a relationship, they may react with violence. They can't handle the idea of their partner leaving. They can't accept that it's over. In some cases, there's possessiveness. The person believes their partner belongs to them. If they can't have them, no one can. Betrayal and emotional pain also play a role. If the rumors about Noon's affair and the HIV diagnosis are true, he may have been dealing with guilt, shame, and fear. He may have known Dewanda was going to leave him. He may have felt trapped. But instead of facing the consequences, he chose violence. Murder-suicide is often described as a final act of control. The person doesn't just want to hurt their partner, they want to control the ending. They want to make sure no one else gets to have a future if they can't. There are often warning signs before these tragedies happen. Threats, extreme jealousy, controlling behavior, isolation, mood swings, talk of hopelessness or revenge. But sometimes those signs are missed, or ignored, or hidden. Understanding the psychology behind these cases doesn't excuse what happened, but it does help us see the patterns, and when we see the patterns, we can start to prevent them. because no one should have to die like Dewanda did. So how do we prevent tragedies like this from happening? First, we need to pay attention to the warning signs: threats, controlling behavior, extreme jealousy, isolation from friends and family, sudden mood changes. These are red flags that something is wrong. If you see these signs in someone you know, don't ignore them. Reach out, ask if they're okay, offer help. Second, we need to talk about guns. When there's a firearm in a home where domestic violence is happening, the risk of death goes up dramatically. Access to a gun can turn a bad situation into a deadly one. Third, people need access to help, counseling, crisis hotlines, safe places to go when they're in danger. These resources save lives, but only if people know about them and can reach them. Fourth, friends and family can make a difference. If someone you care about is in a dangerous relationship, support them. Don't judge them. Help them make a plan to leave safely. Fifth, there are legal protections available: restraining orders, domestic violence hotlines, police who are trained to respond to these situations. People need to know these options exist. Finally, we need to teach young people what healthy relationships look like, how to communicate, how to handle conflict without violence, how to respect boundaries. Prevention starts with awareness. It starts with caring. It starts with taking action before it's too late. Dewanda's story didn't have to end this way. And the next one doesn't either. False stories spread faster than the truth, and once they're out there, they're almost impossible to take back. Dewanda's family had to watch strangers call her a murderer while they were planning her funeral. It's a pain no one should have to endure, so what can we do about it? First, wait for the facts. Don't jump to conclusions based on rumors or social media posts. Official reports exist for a reason. Second, verify your sources. Before you share something, ask yourself, is this confirmed? Where did this information come from? Am I spreading the truth or just repeating gossip? Third, think about the families. Behind every headline is a real person, real loved ones, real grief. Your words have power. Use them carefully. Media outlets have a responsibility too. They shouldn't publish unverified claims just because they're trending. They should wait for official findings. The truth matters, and it's on all of us to protect it. Let's be clear about what happened on October 3rd, 2025. Dewanda Dagen did not kill Noon Thurmond. Noon Thurmond killed Dewanda Dagen. Then he killed himself. Dewanda was the victim, not the villain. She was a mother, a grandmother, a sister, a daughter, a friend. She had people who loved her. She had plans for the future. She had a life that mattered, and that life was stolen from her. Violence took Dewanda away from her family, but misinformation tried to take away her dignity too. Thanks to her brother Daniel, the truth came out. Her name was cleared, her memory was honored. But this case is bigger than just one story. It's a reminder that we need to do better. We need to support victims. We need to stop the violence before it happens. We need to speak the truth, even when lies are louder. Dewanda Dagen didn't deserve what happened to her, and she certainly didn't deserve to have her name dragged through the mud after her death. Today, we set the record straight. If you want more true crime stories that seek the real facts, please subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss future episodes. Liking this video also helps bring attention to cases that need the truth shared. Rest in peace, Dewanda. Your story has been told, and the truth has been heard.